Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. Oreo Express, Josh here. That was supposed to be playing on a loop. I'm playing with some stuff over here. I hope you're having a good day. It is Tuesday, April Fool's Day, April 1st. Check that out. I don't know if you guys have fallen for anything today. I did fall for one item, actually, when I was you guys know I had some stuff to take care of. We're going to talk about that once we get our viewership up here in a little while about some of the stuff with our good friends over at Fresno PD. We'll talk about that when we bring up that case again. But I was going through the internet, browsing some stuff, sitting in a waiting room a little while ago, and somebody put that In-N-Out burger was going to be going to 100% beef tallow. I think it was in May or something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, nothing could make In-N-Out more perfect. And the way it was worded, the way it was scripted, the way it had the In-N-Out stuff in there, I was completely stoked. And then I realized it was an April Fool's joke. So we got to work on In-N-Out. We love In-N-Out. We eat it as often as possible. And we appreciate you sending the In-N-Out gift cards. Trust me. I don't know if Nola's in here right now, but she got some bonus points for that one. But welcome. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. We have the Wisconsin race going on right now. We've kind of talked about that over the last, we mentioned it like 8 months ago. It was an important race, but just last week we've been discussing that. We've got some epic Clown World stuff as always. We got an update. Getting a little more traction with the professor at Fresno State. At least 2 local stations have covered it. Of course, fake news ABC 30 didn't cover it completely. No surprise there. When you have LGBT activists as your reporters, you're probably going to report as an LGBT activist. But we'll talk about that. We'll get into that. We'll get into, again, some Clown World stuff, some border stuff, some judge stuff. It's a long day today. And again, Texas Bigfoot. I don't know if old Uncle Bill's in here. We're going to have to time out Texas Bigfoot. He must be one of those people that like the sandpaper burgers out of Texas. What is that called? Whataburger? Yeah, because he put the throw up emoji when we talked about In-N-Out. And you talk about a lot of things. You can't talk about my mama or my In-N-Out. So we're going to have some problems. Haha's in the house. Nola, Decker MK, Texas Bigfoot, Trina, Coffin McGroin, Nola. I said haha. Matt's in the house. Check that out. Chris B. Matt knows all about In-N-Out. I think that was probably when I picked him up when he flew out to California to work the border together. I can't remember if we got 2 or 3 times. And a lot of times we weren't anywhere near In-N-Out because we were in the middle of a freaking desert. But he could tell you, it was all it was cracked up to be. And if you guys don't get In-N-Out regularly, and I will say this, for some of you that's outside of the state, I know like when I was in Utah and I've ate it in Texas and they say it's just not the same. I would have to say the one when I ate In-N-Out in Texas, it was still 18 times better than Whataburger. But the ones in California, for some reason, 50 times better. Don't know what it is. But we're going to have to get Matt out here again. Go to In-N-Out Burger. Check this out. So we have a disgruntled ex-federal employee that tried to come up to GOP Senator Jim Banks and tell him that he was illegally fired, which these people were not illegally fired. Donald Trump was elected to cut the size of the federal government. That means slash. We don't care. Slash. And we need more slashing. I just want you to see how he responded and the epic response. Excuse me. The epic response of Jim Banks. Take a look at this. Remind me later. Wanted to do an update while I'm live. Go figure.
USA workers. Hi, I was a worker at HHS. I was fired illegally on February 14th. There are many people who are not getting social service programs, especially people with disabilities. Are you going to do anything to stop what's happening?
You probably deserved it.
I deserved it?
You probably deserved it.
I deserved it.
Dude,
wow. Yeah, that's great to hear. Why did I deserve it?
Because you seem like a clown.
Because you seem like a clown, and I want you to watch the elevators closing.
Okay,
that
sir, you shouldn't have said that.
Let's watch that again. Hold on.
Hi, I was a worker at HHS. I was fired illegally on February 14th. There are many people who are not getting social service programs, especially people with disabilities. Are you going to do anything to stop what's happening?
You probably deserved it.
I deserved it?
You probably deserved it.
I deserved it.
Dude,
wow.
Yeah,
that's great to hear. Why did I deserve it?
Because you seem like a clown.
Oh,
Look at that. See that picture
okay,
right
sir,
there?
you shouldn't have said that on
I got that on camera. Like, they think they got something. Yeah, they got something.
Hi, I was a worker at HHS. I was fired illegally.
Let me show you this right here. Let me close that one down. I'm going to close them down as I go today because we are using up the computer. Senator Jim Banks updated his ex profile pic and shared it. It says, new profile pic. I just love it. It's absolutely epic. You know, I was on a phone call with one of our, I'll call her a local activist, while I was working on the show today about an hour ago. And we were just talking about some of the rhinos, what we call establishment Republicans here in the Central Valley, people that, you know, kind of haven't learned the lesson yet that I think a lot of people learned 2016 through 2020. You know, a good example is when people tried to antagonize over at outside of the gulag on January 20th. People tried to come in there to get their little videos and clips. And one of them was trying to get in past people and bumped into somebody. And I just went up and shoulder chucked this cuck boy. And this lady's like, oh, no, we can't do that. We can't. Listen, if it wasn't for people being men out there when we went to Portland, when we were at Berkeley, you wouldn't be holding any rallies. You wouldn't be there because it was a couple different groups that went up there and stood up for your free speech. And we were just talking about the cowardness of a lot of people. And but the good thing is, I was also talking about the city of Clovis. We have where I live, we have one of these. Well, we got a couple moderates on there now. We've always been a very red city, and it shows. We just passed a 1 cent tax increase to fund our police, because again, when you call the police, they come. There is a lot less crime than our surrounding cities. It's like the best place to live in the Central Valley by far. And no offense to some of y'all in Visalia. I know there's some areas in Visalia that are pretty nice. But that's just an epic photo. I just want to show you one more time. Like when that is, when you talk about troll game, that's when your troll game is strong. And I think that's epic. Let me see something here. Let's see what else we got to talk about. Let me close that one too. Hopefully as we go and we close, it'll speed up. So a lot of the news right now, if you go on, and hey guys, you know what? Oh, wait a minute. Is about Cory Booker filibustering. You don't know what filibustering is. You just stand there and talk. I think the record is a little under 24 hours, and he's looking to break the record. Let me show you this. I don't know why there's no sound. Let me fix that. I mean, it's kind of nicer with no sound, right? Nobody wants to hear that full. Let me pull this up. But, I mean, they got all their activists, all their paid DNC members. They got everybody right now saying, oh, Cory Booker, Cory Booker. I mean, clapping like the trained seals they are.
For the longest it would take to get in. Joe Biden comes in, And I think he sets a record for the longest it would take to get from those doors all the way down. Everybody he's talking to, Marjorie Taylor Greene, what's up? He's just touching everybody. He gets up there, he gives a speech. Now, you know that this is an aerobic event. You stand up, you sit down, you stand up, you sit down. You got to get your squats in when you're doing it. Get the exercise for a little while. Well, this part of the speech he called me on is, and I'm sitting down and I hear my input in the speech. I don't know if you all noticed it, my colleagues, but I was the first person to stand up for that section. And I was looking at shots. Get up, man. This is the best speech ever given. It was amazing. I go home, I'm kind of buzzing about the whole experience. And then I'm lying in bed, and I unfortunately have my phone on my nightstand. It goes off, and I see a number I don't recognize. I open it up, and it says, Senator Booker, this is John Meacham, the great historian.
So pretty much just filling time. He's been up there now. Let's see. This was at 2:01 p.m. So he's been up there now for 23 hours speaking. And these Democrats are putting out these paid shills like Harry's of the world, Arts of the world. Oh, he's doing a great job. He's fantastic. I'm like, he's up there talking. That's what Democrats have been doing since Trump got elected. Republicans are doing. The only Democrats that are doing anything are the activist judges that are blocking what Americans voted for. So he can stand up there and talk all he wants. What's it going to do? Take a look at this right here. Let's see. I joined my sin at Chris Coons.
Republicans here in the Senate are working this week to. I just joined my friend and colleague, Senator Cory Booker, on the floor of the Senate. Cory's been up all night, speaking, challenging, pushing back against President Trump, Elon Musk, and DOGE, and the ways that they and Republicans here in the Senate are working this week to try and advance a bill that would slash billions in Medicaid to provide a record tax cut for Elon Musk and his billionaire buddies. What Republicans are doing is wrong. And I joined my friend Cory in speaking out against their actions.
So that was Chris Coons speaking out against his buddies. So pretty much, I find that amazing. We are going up against everything America elected. Think about that for a minute. I'm going to play this.
Pushing back against President Trump, Elon Musk, and DOGE, and the ways that they.
So everything American voted for. 7 swing states, we don't have to keep telling you. The popular vote, all those people said, we want Donald Trump as president. We want him to put Elon Musk in charge of cutting down the size of our federal government. And we love Doge. So they're spending 24 hours. Somebody asked, 23 hours, does he have a pee bottle? My understanding is no. No bathroom breaks. I don't have that post still up. But I just find it interesting. Now check this out. There's always got to be some silver lining to something, right? So while this anti-Second Amendment Cory Booker, this anti-gun person, wants to take away your rights, was doing this, the New York Post posted this story. Cory Booker staffer arrested for carrying a gun on Capitol grounds as senator holds floor for more than 17 hours. So that was 6 hours ago that his staffer was arrested for carrying a gun on Capitol grounds. Hold on, let me refresh this. This is epic. You can't make this up, guys. You cannot make this up. Is that Suge Knight's cousin? Oh, man, I need to laugh today. I just thought it was interesting, kind of the hypocrisy. It's kind of like when you see a woman with an infant at a pro-abortion rally, and it happens every time we cover a pro-abortion rally. You know, and we're like, wait a second, what are you doing with that in your hand? Right? I mean, the hypocrisy. We'll see what happens, right? But guess what Ted Cruz says? It says, as Cory Booker approaches 21-hour filibuster record, I'm contemplating pulling the fire alarm. Hashtag Jamal Bowman. Like, I think we've had enough. I think we've had enough of Cory Booker up here just parroting the Democrat talking points. But kudos to Ted Cruz. And then you had other ones talking. You had Chris Murphy, who, everything, he's a racist. They're a racist. Everything's racist. Voter ID. And so he posted this 1:55. So this was an hour and 20 minutes ago. Cory isn't doing it to break. No, he replied to this. Manu Raju. Cory Booker just surpassed Ted Cruz's 2013 speech of 21 hours and 19 minutes. It's now the fourth longest speech in history. He has to make it until 7:19 p.m. Eastern time. We might be live there, so we'll pull it up to break Strom Thurmond's record. And of course, Chris Murphy said, Cory isn't doing it to break a record, but I do know it'd be amazing to have a racist, pro-segregation speech erased from the Senate record books. Let's go. 2.5 hours to go. That's all it's about, is a record. So people talk about it. This is what the whole thing is. And I'll prove to you why, because they have everybody pushing this. If you go to your feeds, let's see. If you go to your feeds right here, first thing that pop up, Rep. Ian Omar, for 15 hours and counting. That was 7 hours ago. Senator Booker has been holding the line on the Senate floor. And you keep going down to this stuff, you will see that they're influencers, they're paid media for the Democrats. They're continuing to push this time and time again. Time and time again. So we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but I just wanted to give you a little more details on the story from the Tesla vehicle in Fargo, North Dakota that was vandalized. This was from Andy No, and we'll give you the update. It says Ryan Lyle Williams Burry, 25, says he allegedly vandalized the Tesla Cybertruck outside of a Costco. The owner of the Tesla posted the video of the incident to social media, and somebody recognized the suspect as Williams Burry. The vandalism happened on the National Tesla Takedown Protest Day, Saturday, March 29th. He was charged with felony criminal mischief. It said Williams Burry. This is the part I always love to let you guys know because we're always right. Williams Burry quickly tried to scrub his social media account, but I was able to locate some of his posts on Threads where he discusses protest tactics, advocates for civil war, and that says Palestine, but we know that means pro-Hamas and Ukraine content. And then here's some of those pictures here, if we can get through these. Oh. Lot of connections to, again, just radical people. These aren't your, like they always say, oh, American people. Your American people aren't out keying Teslas, folks. They're not out firebombing Tesla dealerships at 2:30 in the morning. Most of them are sleeping unless they have Trump derangement syndrome. And then they're thinking about what they could do to destroy the patriarchy. It cracks me up. I literally laugh every time I see more and more and more of this because it's sad. It really is. This one here was another update we wanted to give you. Also from Mr. Andy No. Says a leftist anti-Tesla protester was arrested for allegedly ramming a Trump supporter with a car in Meridian, Idaho on March 29th. Another March 29th vandal. Christopher Talbot has been charged with felony aggravated battery. This attack happened as part of a nationwide anti-Trump and anti-Elon Musk direct action at Tesla stores. Now, we were at one of those here in Fresno. If you guys missed that live stream, go check it out. Actually, these lunatics were stuck in front of a Lexus dealership. and were protesting Lexus, so much so that they put a store closing sign in front of Lexus because, well, I don't know. Maybe they're that retarded. Maybe they're that retarded. And we're going to give you an update on that teacher in a minute and some of the coverage. This is from Paul, our bubble bath girl on X. It says, person keys a Tesla. Any idea who they are? They look perfectly normal. That's all I want to say. Like, I wouldn't suspect them of keying a Tesla if I looked at them. That person right there, let me refresh it so it shows you the whole thing. That person right there is probably sticks out in a crowd. Probably always wearing all black, probably like black lipstick. Take a look. So cool, so cool. Looks like there's some tattoos. It could be something on his right arm, but it looks like tattoos. So take a good look. I'll have to find out where that one happened. It didn't. Let's see if anybody added the CD. Found it 800 block of Humboldt Street in Victoria, British, are in Canada. Crazy, guys. Crazy. There's more, though. There's more. Take a look at this. This was Libs of TikTok posted this. We told you we would have some Clown World stuff, and of course, we're not going to disappoint. It says, meet Zachary Sandry, a man pretending to be a woman. Zachary is a teacher at Red Oak ISD. He says he gets gender euphoria from being called ma'am and feels affirmed when his students use his female name and pronouns. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you a story, and I've told it numerous times. When we were on COVID lockdown, and we had my daughter obviously couldn't go to school at the time. I think she was sophomore, junior. She was probably a junior at the time, and she's like, "Dad, come here." She was doing her work on the kitchen table. And I walked in there and I looked at the screen. And I was like, what the hell is that? Like half a head shaved, had pronouns on the screen. I said, exit out. Immediately called the school. I said, how is somebody, and this was a substitute teacher, which is no longer with the district, for biology. And I went and found all the social media stuff, put it out everywhere. And again, you know, political correctness doesn't allow the school to do anything, but when you get enough pressure, they will find a reason to get rid of somebody. But let's listen to this woman here.
Of them,
I said,
because
woman,
it means
just kidding.
everything
April
to
Fools.
them.
I was waiting for an April Fool's joke.
Hi, I'm Rosie, Texas teacher and transgender goddess, here with just a couple of thoughts about some gender euphoria that I've been feeling today. So for those of you that don't know, gender euphoria is the feeling you get when you finally feel comfortable in your gender, when something good happens and it just brings you a lot of joy and calm. And it's been happening to me a lot today. This morning when I stopped at
How many of you get that feeling of gender euphoria? It's a mental illness, folks. It's a mental illness.
the gas station for my morning energy drink, I got ma'amed, which is so funny because I know that there are a lot of women who really don't like being called ma'am, but I like it a lot. It's so new to me and it's so wonderful. And it was such a small thing to make me this happy. And then at school today, I'm surrounded by kids. I teach sophomores and I have these 15, 16-year-olds who are completely on board, who, when I told them I had changed my pronouns, jumped right into it. They call me ma'am, they call me miss, they use my correct pronouns and know my correct name. And it is incredibly affirming. So
that is child abuse. That is lying to the children. That's why this should not be allowed in school, by the way. People say, oh, that's discriminatory. Transgender people have rights too. Well, they don't have a right to lie to my child, force my child to lie to them. They don't have that right. they don't have that right. We're going to finish this up and show you the outcome.
Yes, my message here is if you have any trans people in your life, it is so easy to show them love. So easy. All you have to do is respect them. Something as simple as calling a trans woman ma'am could be the thing that completely changes her entire day. It does for me. I've been out for 7 months and it never, ever, ever gets old. So I just want you to know, if you have trans people in your life, love them because it means everything to them.
And you know what, guys, and I'm just going to tell you, I don't want anything bad to happen to these people. I want them to get the help they need. But if you know somebody that needs help, the way you love them is to get them the help, not to lie to them, not to affirm something that's unaffirmable. A man will never be a woman will never be a man. You're not in there changing every DNA in your body. Again, it's unfortunate that these people are like that, but the one place they do not need to be is around children or around kids. This was an update from Libs of TikTok. It says Zachary Sandy, the male teacher who pretends to be a woman at Red Oak ISD and said he got gender euphoria from being called ma'am, has resigned from his position, is no longer allowed back in the school following our expose. Let's take a listen.
Share with you the one tragedy that I see in all of this, and that is this. I never had the opportunity to say goodbye to my students. This happened so quickly, I was not allowed back in the classroom. And the one thing that breaks my heart right now is I will never get to tell all of these students the impact that they have had on me. Share with you.
Well, hopefully their parents talk to them about the impact you had on them, to tell them exactly truth and reality. These people, like I remember talking to Will Johnson, and I was like, some of these people are just so mental. He goes, you know what? A lot of them, it's much worse than that. It's demonic. It's demonic. And you see it out there. Just like when we were out there at the Tesla dealership, and I said, God bless you, when somebody said something. God's not real. I said, oh, he's real. And I could tell it was one of those woke ass feminists. And I said, and someday you will be judged by man. And I got to give a shout out to Black conservative preacher Quincy, because we were at a protest somewhere, and I'll never forget. There was all these pink vagina hat wearing people. It's probably in DC. And he informed them that someday they will be judged by a man, because, they hate men. Check this one out. 30-year-old married Illinois teacher, Christina Fermella. I don't know if you guys have seen this. She was arrested in March for allegedly molesting a 15-year-old boy, or you could call it rape, right? I was watching a lot of talk shows about this the other day. I was kind of skimming through. It's a little different when it's a boy, right? A 15-year-old, 16-year-old, he's becoming a man, and a female teacher. Totally different than the way I think society pictures that, versus a 15-year-old girl with an adult male. It says she wasn't initially told what she was being arrested for. Later in the video, after she's been made aware of it, she is sobbing. It says the victim has provided evidence to the police, including graphic text messages. He also alleges he ended the relationship. Now, this woman, it's crazy because you sometimes think that these women aren't going to look that great. And this woman damn near looks like a supermodel, I think, in a lot of men's eyes. Like, here's a picture of her right here, of a very beautiful, very gorgeous woman. And then let me show you the video of her being arrested.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
Officer. Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
Officer Guzman with Downers Grove. Do you have your license on you?
Yes. Can I?
Yeah, I'm gonna explain. I'm sure you're confused. I'll explain everything to you. You're Christina?
Yes.
Okay, Christina, do me a favor. Can you step out of the car for me? I know you're confused. I'll explain everything to you. You don't have anything on you? You can just grab whatever you need.
Whatever I need.
Yeah, whatever you need, like your phone, your purse, go ahead and grab it.
Is she going somewhere? Or?
Yeah, we're going to explain everything to you guys. Go ahead and grab it. We're not going anywhere right now. Of course, yeah.
I don't understand what's going on here.
I get it, yeah. You can go grab your things.
Can he come with me?
Yes. You stay there for right now, sir. Just stay there, but yes, you can. But come on back here.
Should I shut the car off?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Goes off. Okay. Let's right back over here. So, we do have an investigation going on. We have to talk to you about it at the police department, okay? So we're going to explain everything to you there. It's not my investigation. I don't know the full details. We do have to bring you there, though, okay? So I do have to put you in handcuffs and bring you to the police department. Just a Downers Grove.
Handcuffs?
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
I'm like willing to go with you.
I get it, yeah. Unfortunately, we have to do it that way. So do me a favor. We just take this off.
Can I ask you what?
Of course, yeah. It's not, like I said, it's not my investigation. Obviously, we're here for a reason. So go ahead and turn around for me. So right now, you're just being detained, and there is a detective that needs to talk to you at the police department. So we'll let your husband know. He can just come to the police department as well if he wants to wait for you there.
I'm like.
I get it. You have a lot of questions.
So scared.
Yeah, everything's okay. We just need to talk to you at the police department. That's all. Nothing else on your pocket right now? Anything else?
Just my phone.
Just your phone? Okay. Okay. All right, we're going to sit in the back of this car. On the other side. Once you get to the police department, you'll talk to the detective and he'll explain everything to you.
But you can't even give me like an idea
at the moment
what this is about.
Other than that it's an investigation, that's all I can really tell you right now. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you more.
Excuse me, is my husband coming with?
Yeah, he's taking his phone number down. We're staying in touch with him. We're just going to Downers Grove, so 10 minutes away.
No, I know, but I really would prefer that my husband's with me.
Of course.
I can't believe they're separating families.
Am I in trouble? Like I'm so lost right now. I'm
sure you are. Like I said, I can't answer any questions right now. Just to tell you that right now you're being detained for an investigation and we're bringing you to the police department. And once you get there, they're going to fill you in on everything.
What happened?
I'm just going to put your seatbelt on. Unless they're able to reach it down there. Sure you don't want a tissue or something?
I'm feeling I'm gonna throw up.
A bag?
Yes, please.
Alright. Shauna, can you grab like a bag out of there? Hey, can you get like a bag just in case she gets nauseous? Yeah. I don't know, do we have any of those emesis bags like laying around the box? I figure something better than nothing. Or here, if you stay with her, I'll go grab it.
Man, was it worth it, lady? Was it worth it? I'm gonna say no.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
Alright? Or tell us we're here if you need it, alright?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Doug pretty much goes on with her contemplating every decision she's ever made in life, it sounds like. Here was, I just want to show you this new, from what I understand, she's saying she's being set up. But then there was some other stuff that went a little farther. Listen to this.
That teacher was arrested. That teacher was arrested during a traffic stop yesterday, more than a year after the alleged sexual assault, which prosecutors say came to light after sexually explicit text messages were discovered.
We are heartbroken for the victim and also for the hundreds of students, staff, and family who trusted this teacher and feel betrayed by this terrible situation.
This meeting of the Community High School District 99 School Board comes hours after Downers Grove South notified families of a teacher's arrest. 30-year-old Christina Formella, a special services teacher and boys and girls soccer coach, has been charged with aggravated criminal sexual assault and abuse of a then 15-year-old male student, prosecutors say, in December 2023 during a tutoring session before school.
Our top focus now is to support the victim and their family and to ensure the well-being and safety of all of our students.
Though the alleged assault happened 15 months ago, authorities say the student and his mother reported the incident to police this past Saturday, after prosecutors say that mother bought her son a new iPhone, and after signing into iCloud discovered a sexually explicit text thread. The exchange is too graphic for us to show, are detailed in this petition filed by DuPage County prosecutors that sought pretrial detention for Formella, that request denied by a judge. School officials say they're now working to contact families of other students who had direct contact with Formella.
We will continue to address this situation with.
Now, you notice they requested pretrial detention, and if that would have been a man, you guarantee there would have been some pretrial detention. It's I guess, feminist privilege. We're going to follow this up, but you never know, what's going on. Again, you're sending your kid to school early to be tutored, not to be raped. That is insane. That is insane. Check this one out. More clown world. Jasmine Crockett, ghetto Jasmine Crockett. I just love. Let her talk. Let her keep talking. Look she looks like a fool right here. Listen to what she says and how she's called out by Daryl Issa.
Which branch of government?
Crockett.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate the speaker for admitting openly on the record that it is unconstitutional. But the concerns that I have are around the fact that we are sitting here pretending as if we all are looking out for the Constitution, yet we are coming from completely different angles. So let me go to Professor Shaw. To be clear, which branch of government is responsible for interpreting what is and what is not legal?
Well, the Supreme Court, the Article 3 judicial branch has the final word.
So the judiciary is who it is. So it's not the legislators.
I'd say every branch has an obligation to interpret the Constitution. The final word comes from the courts.
From the courts. It's not the former speakers. It's not everyday people. It's not the president. I just wanted to make sure that we understood who it was that was responsible. And what is so frustrating for so many of the American people, the ones that are watching right now and otherwise, and the reason that they're outraged and scared is because what we see right now is the diminishing of all these institutions. Right now, we have a legislative branch that has decided that it intentionally would disregard their duties. They are not checking the president whatsoever. The only check that the American people have had thus far has been from the judiciary. And the judiciary isn't pulling this out of the sky. In fact, they are coming from basic reading of the plain language of the Constitution for all of those that are constitutionalists when we start talking about things such as what birthright citizenship is. But one of the things that I want to make sure that I get to, because there are deeper implications if we go down this rabbit hole. Imagine the type of world where the president does whatever he wants to and no one can rein him in. It's a world that right now many people are afraid of. Let me put it this way. If Joe Biden would have done an executive order for abortion, despite what the Supreme Court said, that would have been a problem. Imagine if the state of Colorado kept Trump off the ballot and other states follow suit. That would have been a problem. Or imagine if Jack Smith ignored Eileen Cannon and with the help of an activist judge decided that he was going to prosecute the sitting president anyway. The problem that we have right now is that if we continue down this road, then we will not have a rule of law because we have people that are currently serving and they're saying things like, ignore the judge's order. What it means to have law and order in this country is that you follow the order and you go through the appeals process, even if you dislike what the judge did. Thank you, this. And I yield.
And I'll yield back to Mr. Issa.
Yep.
Mr. Issa, you had a question for me, which I'll yield to you now if you want to.
Watch.
Now that there's no time left. Thanks,
I'm
Eric.
happy to entertain it.
You're good. You're good at that, but I'll take my own time. I'll recognize myself. And I'm going to note that when Miss Ocasio-Cortez, or AOC as we know her, filed articles of impeachment on Justice Thomas and Alito, Ms. Crockett was one of the co-sponsors along with Mr. Cohen, both members of this committee. It does seem interesting that when the shoe is on the other foot, everyone is self-righteous. And I think this is a good example. For the last 3 hours, I have had to listen to one side talking about impeachment as though it was the nature of this hearing. It is not. I keep looking at my friend, the late Henry Hyde, and remember that although he led the impeachment when it was necessary, he did so only during that time and then never mentioned it again in hearings. In fact, he was religiously able to focus on the hearing of the day. The hearing of today is really about the question of the future of the court's ability to do its job as intended.
Calling out Jasmine Crockett, everything she said in her little speech to make her seem like she was somebody special, he tore down in 1 second. So you're telling me, first of all, he talks about this isn't about impeachment, but everything you just complained that Republicans are doing, AOC did, and you are a co-sponsor of the bill. The hypocrisy is beyond maddening, but that's what they're supposed to do. Before we get into this, guys, we're going to give you an update on the Fresno State teacher. For those that haven't seen it, we're going to play a little short video and then give you some, there's a little traction, and that's thanks to you guys. But first, let me pull this up on the screen really quick. Weak coffee is for the weak, and at Rumble, weak has never been part of the mission. No fillers, no fraud, and no settling for mediocrity. Just like 1775 coffee. It's single origin, small farm, hand-picked, specialty-grade coffee that stands for quality, free speech, and calling out BS when it matters. Forget stale, mass-produced beans, roasted just enough to hide the flaws. Dark roast hits like a Trump tariff. Medium roast keeps it bold without the bitterness. And Vitality Mushroom Blend, real energy and lasting focus, no synthetic garbage. For K-Cup pods, whole beans, or fresh ground coffee, go to 1775coffee.com. Use code STUDIO for 15% off and start your morning with coffee that stands for something. Oh, and every dollar spent enters you to win a Cybertruck and $30,000 cash. Again, that's 1775coffee.com and promo code STUDIO. That gets you 15% off. So, all right. So I'll give you an update on this morning, why we didn't do a morning show and everything else.
Thank you, Catherine.
This was again when they said, "Hey, that guy Oreo's here to expose people." Well, it's not just me, guys. It's not just me. It's you. None of this can be done without you, the viewers, without your sharing, without your donations. And I want you to. One of the things that we caught that day, and we wouldn't even have been after looking at this person if they didn't run up with a bullhorn and say all kind of stuff. And then mainly because of U-Spark. Thank you, U-Spark. You guys are awesome.
All right. Okay. I don't know if you want my name on there or anything, but you know my name also. Yeah, if you want to share it. Sure. Yeah, you can say who you are in the community if you want. No, sure. This is on. Yeah, sure. And I'm Catherine Shurek. I'm actually trying to get a NOW chapter, National Position for Women, off the ground here in Fresno. I'm an anthropologist and a professor at the university here and teach an activist anthropology course. We're trying to get my students to get involved as well. Extra credit, kids. You hear that? Yes. Sorry, young adults, not kids. Next week, they do get extra credit for coming to the protest. Okay, awesome.
So that's what originally alerted us to start a little bit deeper dive into an investigation. And then we found that she was calling for the murder of President Trump, his death, Elon Musk, just a lot of typical Democrat unhinged stuff. And let's pull this up. This was just some of them. This was her post that she shared. Again, this is Catherine Shurek. It says, and if you guys can't see very well, that is a casket with Donald Trump laying in it. You have the Bushes, the Clintons, the Obamas, And then you have Melania Trump at the end. And it says, I have a dream for this to happen much sooner rather than later. Hashtag felon Trump, hashtag traitor Trump, hashtag rapist Trump, hashtag die Trump, hashtag Trump dead. Kind of extreme, if you ask me. I don't know. I've been doing this a while, guys, and I've never said, I hope Joe Biden dies. I want him dead. I've never done any of that. Then again, I'm not a flaming libtard like most of these people. This was another one she shared. So, and again, thanks to you guys for the support, getting us out there. Without you guys, none of this stuff happens. Says, and take Musk and the rest of the Nazi Republican Party members with you too. And it is a tombstone that says Donald J. Trump, June 14th, 1946 to now would be good. So, and there's other stuff. We covered some of her other stuff. We screenshotted and recorded her stuff before she was able to delete it. Well, again, we're waiting for some traction to break and see who would, so far, and I got to check again, but NBC and CBS local don't think this is a story. Even though a Fresno County Board of Supervisor, Gary Bredefeld, called on the college to denounce their professor, which they did. We put that up yesterday, but let's take a listen to ABC 30's reporting. I love ABC is the LGBT activist camera thing and reporter. Let's take a look. We'll have to turn this ad off.
But people like them.
But again, we're going to show you what they covered and how they covered it and what's going on. There might even be a rally held at Fresno State that we'll have to attend to stop the hate, stop her hate. I'm waiting for details right now, and you can guarantee we broke that story. We're going to be there. Let's see.
State faculty member is facing strong pushback tonight after past social media posts surfaced over the weekend. Lecturer Catherine Schurig appeared to call for President Trump's death and says other Republicans should die as well. Gabe also brings us this story and how the university is now responding.
Tonight, a Fresno State lecturer under fire for social media posts showing President Trump in a coffin.
It's the fact that she publicly states she wishes our president was dead and Republicans were dead.
Fresno County Supervisor Gary Bredefeld criticizing Catherine Schurig, highlighting this Facebook post in which Schurig appears to wish death on the president, Elon Musk, and Republicans, calling them Nazis. Bredefeld taking to social media himself, equating Schurig with hate-filled radical lunatics, saying they have no business teaching anywhere.
I will defend her First Amendment right to do so, but I have the First Amendment right to criticize her, and I do.
Our crew saw Schurig on Saturday as she protested outside a Tesla dealership in Northwest Fresno. She showed us this poster for an upcoming protest and said she'd award students extra credit if they attended.
I just don't think this is the kind of people we want teaching young people.
Fresno State appearing to distance itself from Schurig, calling her posts abhorrent and writing in part, quote, they do not represent our university in any way. Fresno State firmly denounces wishes of death against any elected official, particularly the President of the United States. These go against our core educational values and are not consistent with our principles of community. Schurig describes herself on Facebook as a liberal activist and has previously said she teaches an activist anthropology course. She declined our request for comment, and tonight her posts remain up.
Politics should be discussed. I mean, this is what we should have. But calling for the death of the President of the United States, calling for the death of Republicans, comparing them to Nazis, no, I think that crosses a line.
Gabe Ferris, ABC 30, Action News.
This isn't the first time a Fresno State faculty member has been linked.
That was obviously ABC 30's take on it. And then I noticed this morning or last night, we had one from KMPH, another, usually a little better from KMPH. Not always, but let's take a listen to this one here, guys. See if it's going to play or I have to refresh. I might have to refresh this one. It's been sitting on the... Yeah, let me refresh this one. I've had this up, been working on the show for a couple hours. So here, let me pull this up. It's going to play a little ad. While it's playing that ad, we will maybe not.
A car accident.
So again, all this was possible, made possible by you. These are the things when she said, when U Spark said, "Oh no, we need to find dirt." They were trying to find dirt on me. That's how all this came out. Wasn't familiar enough with me.
Well, controversy now swirling around a Fresno State professor after she's accused of posting some strong words about President Trump and Elon Musk on her social media account and possibly encouraging students to attend a protest.
Fox 26 reporter Brianda Lemos is live at Fresno State here now to tell us more. Brianda?
Yeah, we're talking about part-time lecturer and faculty member Catherine Shurik. Critics say social media posts have been mentioning her wishing death on current president.
We need people teaching the subjects that they want to learn, not how to hate our country, talk about our president being dead.
Fresno County Supervisor Gary Bredefeld says he's talking about Catherine Shurik and her social media post right here. 2 specific posts showing President Trump in a casket surrounded by past elected officials along with President Trump's wife, Melania. And another post with the gravestone and President Trump's birth date and death date saying, "Now would be good."
When I see this kind of radical, destructive thing being talked about and posted on social media sites, and you have these teachers, professors teaching our young people to hate this country, to hate our elected leaders, that's just wrong, and I'm going to speak out on it personally myself.
Bredefeld says he reposted what Shurik has on her Instagram and Facebook page, adding, quote, "People like this are hate-filled, radical lunatics and have no business teaching anywhere," end quote. After being made aware of the controversy, Fresno State has put out a statement saying, in part, "While Fresno State firmly believes in the principles of free speech, we strongly condemn the abhorrent social media posts and comments made by one of our part-time instructors. As these views were published by the employee as a private citizen, they do not represent our university in any way." A video circulating on social media also shows Shurik offering extra credit to her students for showing up to a protest. Fresno State says it is reviewing that issue as well.
Listen, I support anybody's freedom of speech, whether I agree with it or not. But I also think we ought to be calling out people who pretend to be teachers or professors but are promoting their left-wing radical lunatic ideology.
We reached out to Professor Shurik to see if she was available to talk about her social media posts. We have not received a response. Fresno State also confirmed she's a part-time instructor at the university. In Fresno, Brianda Lemus, Fox 26 News.
But I also think we ought to be calling out people who pretend to be teachers or professors but are promoting their left-wing
At the
radical.
bottom, it says, "Is extra credit for attending a protest appropriate?" And let me see let me see something really quick. I want to see what the totals is now. Proceed. Does it give you an option? That's weird. It doesn't show you the poll. It was put up 11 hours ago. Let's see. It is 82% no, 18% yes. So the radicals in Fresno voted yes. It says, "Is extra credit for attending a protest appropriate?" So 82% no at this time. And just to give you guys a heads up, while we were there as well, there was a man yelling across the street. Couldn't hear a word he was saying. I think you guys that were watching the live stream, we covered it a little bit yesterday as well. So we walked across the street. At that time, the person, let me see if, let me pull up that video just really quick, just so we get an understanding. I'm going to talk to my producer right now. Hey, Josh, you doing all right? Doing well. Get up that video. Let's see. And then he also proceeds to call me a faggot. But he did say he was a police officer and that he was undercover. And at that point, I had a pretty good idea that he was impersonating an officer. I tried to flag down officers, but they were over there BSing. They weren't paying attention. And I kept an eye on him for a moment. Hold on. Let's see where it is. Let me do this. Give me 1 second to pull this up. I'm just looking we've had a lot of posts over this incident. Here we go.
A lot of us are hard of hearing. A lot of us are hard. Oh, you look back for the
police. The street. I couldn't hear what he said at first.
Sorry, a lot of us are hard of hearing. A lot of us are hard. Oh, you looked back for the police, didn't you? We're hard of hearing. You're sitting over there. What's that?
I am the police, fucking idiot.
Oh, so you're the police?
Yeah.
All right. What are you going to arrest me?
No, hell no.
What are you out here doing, officer?
I'm undercover.
I'm going to get him over here. You can't impersonate a police officer. You cannot impersonate a police officer.
See how he said, get him over here. It's Fresno police. I'm a left-wing activist. They won't do nothing. He was right. Let me finish this, and then we'll talk about what
that was impersonating a police officer. Yeah, we're going to go over here. You're impersonating a police officer here right on the sidewalk on Herndon Avenue, sir.
As far as you're concerned, I am, you fucking faggot. But you don't hope you're fucking with me. You leave me alone. You crossed the street to come over here.
No, you were yelling stuff. I wanted to hear what you said, and then you impersonated a police officer.
I never impersonated a police.
Oh man, talk about unhinged, guys. These people are epic. Hold on, let me pull up this. So this morning went downtown. Hold on, I was trying to got a couple things we were doing. Hold on, is it doing that? And one of those is Sergeant Brian Chadwick. There's more video to this. Obviously, you can go back to live stream. We don't pull down our live streams. It's all there. But I ended up following him. I called 911 because, again, with the fire bombings at Tesla dealerships, the vandalism, when you have somebody falsifying, impersonating a police officer, I didn't know who else he was going to impersonate a police officer to. I mean, this might be one of those weirdos that tells a little child, hey, I'm a cop. You can listen to me. Don't know, but I would love not only the Fresno PD to do their damn job, but maybe even the FBI to look into that. And the reason why it was so fresh on my mind, guys, is we just arrested somebody in Fresno who really wasn't acting as an our impersonating officer, but had an ice jacket. Very similar to the ice jacket our friend up in D.C. wears. And so HaHa had just sent me the city council meeting where that person that was arrested for impersonating an officer went and called out no other than Miguel Arias, the one and only, for lying. Miguel Arias went on some Telemundo station and lied about this guy, defamed him, and now he served them with papers. So I had all this on my mind, and I'm like, wow. And so when we went up to the officer, he was there. He was met. Like 4 people came across the street because I was filming, right? They said I was harassing them because I was on the phone with 911. Imagine that. Who's the victim here? He's saying these people harass me. I just let them talk. And I said, I just called 911. I would like to make a police report, and it has to do with him. Well, they're talking for a few minutes, and then they let him walk off. And then he tries to incite me. I said, come on, let's go over to the dealership like he was a big man. And I just stood there because, again, we have a gentleman here who is impersonating a police officer, which is a serious offense. And so when I finally talked to the officer, I was like, yeah, I have video. I just got a phone with 911, and this person is impersonating an officer. And he pretty much says, yeah, well, I'm not going to do anything about it. I don't want to incite those people over there. So I'm not going to do anything. And I'm like, Okay, doesn't surprise me. They acted the same way under Chief Paco Balderrama. So today had to go do some things, do some investigation. So I just wanted to let you know that's why we didn't have a first show. And we have right here, I just want to read you the Fresno Police Department complaints procedures. Not only are we doing a complaint, we are also filing, we're doing the complaint. We're also getting a records request form for Sergeant Chadwick's disciplinary actions. So, and we are also requesting body cam from that day. Again, I have a feeling when they realize we get a little momentum, and I'm going to need your guys' help to get that momentum going. And before I say anything, I support law enforcement. I live in Clovis. If it wasn't for my law enforcement here in Clovis being so good, I probably would have moved out of California already. Certain law enforcements do different things, and certain officers, like Officer Chadwick, is what I feel just following stand down orders. Pretty much as long as it's the left doing it, don't get involved. Just stand there, waste our tax dollars. You're getting paid a lot of money, Sergeant Chadwick, to just sit there and bullshit with some other officers next to your bike. So this will go farther. So again, that's body cam evidence. And if anybody wants the case or event number, I'll probably give that to you in a little while. But here it says Fresno Police Department claimant procedures. And I'm going to tell you, after I read this, my story about going into the police department. It says California law requires every law enforcement agency to have a procedure for investigating complaints by members of the public and to have a written description of the procedure available for review. Complaints and any reports, findings related to these complaints shall be retained for a period of at least 5 years. Internal affairs investigations are confidential and may not be revealed during any civil or criminal proceedings, except by a court order by specific exceptions under law. All complaints are initially reviewed by a supervisor. The complaining party will be contacted by a supervisor. If the complaint cannot be resolved or a supervisor believes misconduct may have occurred, your complaint will be thoroughly investigated. A police supervisor will conduct a thorough administration investigation by conducting interviews, collecting evidence, and reviewing reports. The supervisor will then prepare a detailed report, which will be reviewed by the chief of police or a designated staff officer. If the investigation determines the employee's misconduct occurred, the chief or designated staff officer will determine the appropriate discipline or corrective actions. Police department employees may receive training or may be canceled, reprimanded, suspended, or terminated, depending on the degree of misconduct and the disciplinary history. And I just want to say, none of this will happen with Sergeant Chadwick. None of this. He was following orders, but I do want there to be something on record. Something on record. Again, regardless if you support law enforcement, I call out Republicans every day. I've been a registered Republican my whole life. I fight, I spend money, I sacrifice to get Republicans elected. But that doesn't mean I don't call them out when needs to be called out. So let's just get that straight before we go for any whack jobs say anything. So when I walked in there today, it was actually me and Caden, because I had to go again. I had to talk to some people, and you can talk to the people that love that this is happening, that we have people that are on the right, Trump supporters, people that support the police, calling them out and asking for accountability is mainly police officers and retired police officers that really support this, to be honest with you, because they watch what happens. They think it's unfair. Again, you guys have seen Fresno PD. I mean, they fired a guy for standing outside of a protest of Tower Theater. Because the left wanted him fired. Think about that. It's not an exaggeration. So when we walked in, it was me and Caden. I think Caden was expecting some awesome Paw Patrol police station. It was not a Paw Patrol police station. There's some wooden chairs there and some bulletproof glass windows. So after waiting, we talked to a lady. She called us up, and I was like, yeah, I would like to get the paperwork to file a complaint on an officer. And you could see she all of a sudden got this, wouldn't quite say disgusted, but like, oh, one of you looks. And she's like, okay. And she's like, well, you can do it online. I said, yeah, I want to do it in person. I want to fill out the forms and everything. And she goes, She walks away for a few minutes, comes back, and she hands me the form. And then I was like, and I go, you know what? I also, if you don't mind, I need to request the body cam video of that day. And she goes, well, I can get you a form. That's what I'm kind of here for. And she pulls out the form. She goes, you just need an incident number. And I was like, or an event number. And I was like, what if I don't have an event number? And I go, I can tell you when I called 911. And she goes, well, tell me the phone number where you called from. So she gives me the event number. And I was like, I really appreciate your help. And I go, the last thing I need is I want to request this officer's disciplinary actions of the past. And she goes, well, that's confidential. So she tells me. She goes, and I said, so a government employee that is paid by my tax dollars, it's confidential that I find out what my tax dollars are going to? And she goes, well, it's a personnel matter. I said, no, it's a public interest matter. And she just kind of looks down, reaches over, grabs the other piece of paperwork, and hands me that. And so I got some little bit more work to do on this. And I believe Thursday morning, it will all be taken care of. And if I don't drop it off Thursday morning, Rachel will. And then we'll keep giving you updates. But we're going to continue to be very loud and proud here in Fresno. And I'm going to tell you this. There's a good chance that it takes away the ability of our reporting. There's a good chance that next time we go out and there's leftists that they say, hey, you have to go over there. To me, we've seen it when it came to the tower, that the side that was violent, I got assaulted there 4 times. Jason got assaulted there once. And police never did nothing. The district attorney never did nothing. These people know they've been above the law, and they're going to continue acting like that. And we're going to continue probably to go to, when I say probably, we're going to continue to go to these events, but probably 5 times as many. And we're going to get all the footage we can. We want to document this anti-American movement. And these people that obviously, I mean, look at what we caught on Saturday. A professor calling for the death of President Trump, Elon Musk, and I don't know what you identify as after the transmission day of visibility yesterday. But conservatives like me, they want the death of that. And that's scary. That's scary because are they going to come after me or are they going to come after my children? You never know. I truly believe the FBI should be involved in this. But I wanted to let you know, and we're going to keep you guys updated on all this. And again, I want to say thank you because we're going to be making some rounds this year and especially this summer. And if you guys appreciate what you do and you want to help out, we are 100% viewer funded. You can go to Venmo at OreoJosh, givesendgo.com/Oreo2024, or we have Cash App, $Oreo Army. It doesn't matter if it's $5 or $10. It helps us, whether it's travel, whether it's the lights, camera, action, whether it's hotel. If you guys have been with us for a while, you know we've been to almost 30 states in the last 4 years. We've covered things. We've been gone for months at a time. And that's all because of your support. And not just that, it triggers these libtards. It just triggers them. Just going to tell you now. And so I want to say thank you for all you guys that have supported us. Don't forget, we also have a Zelle link. That Zelle link is on our website. You can go to theoreoexpress.com. On our homepage, there's a donate now button. And we want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And let me see if someone else here. We still got a whole nother half of a show to go right now. Let's see if someone is in here. I believe I have an issue with a donation from, if Forward77, I think is the screen name. If you're in here, email me. Haha brought up a good point. My car was vandalized with thousands of dollars of damage while I was live streaming a protest outside of Tower Theater when they were protesting Adventure Church. I couldn't even get a call back from Fresno PD. I think I still have the police report number on one of those cards over here. I called numerous times. We had an idea. Someone gave us a tip on who did it, and it would make perfect sense watching the video when that person disappeared, and they already had him in custody for throwing a disabled person down a flight of stairs. That's the people that go to these Democrat protests, guys. All right, let's move on. I just thought this would be interesting. Hopefully we can, we might do a live stream later tonight about the Wisconsin race. It is 4 o'clock. Maybe we'll have some answers here. I doubt it. But the Wisconsin race for the judge. But check this out. This was Catherine Herridge. Breaking: FBI imposed a gag order about the Hunter Biden laptop after employee accidentally confirmed its authenticity to Twitter. It says newly released. Remember, we were going to finally find the truth that if the FBI was weaponized and if they were committing election fraud and election interference by suppressing information to the voters. This says right here, newly released internal FBI chat messages reveal senior bureau officials actively shutting down discussion of a laptop's credibility days before the 2020 presidential election. And this is from C. Herridge and Schellenberger. It says an FBI official admitted to House investigators that an FBI employee had inadvertently confirmed the authenticity of Hunter Biden's laptop to Twitter on a conference call the morning of October 14th, 2020, the day the New York Post published a story about it. I recall that when the question came up, an intelligence analyst assigned to the Criminal Investigation Division said something to the effect, yes, the laptop is real. The then Russia unit chief testified in a closed-door transcribed interview. I believe it was Office of General Counsel attorney assigned to the Foreign Influence Task Force stepped in and said, we will not comment further on this topic. When we talk about how these folks weaponized the government, went after J6ers. They did not get a fair trial. They were politically persecuted. Trump was politically persecuted. They interfered in the 2020 elections. Ignore the machines. Ignore the people dropping off ballots. All it took was to manipulate the media and lie to the American people just to give them enough doubt. That's all it would have took. It said the FBI, which had a special task force to counter foreign election interference, could have set the record straight by confirming the laptop was real and the subject of an ongoing criminal probe. Instead, FBI leadership allowed the false narrative about the laptop to gain momentum. The FBI provided the chat messages to congressional investigators with heavy redactions. It says some of the redactions on the chats are marked OGC, AGC, which appears to mean that they were made by the FBI's official general counsel, associate general counsel. An individual's name who is blacks out tells Elvis M. Chan, the San Francisco FBI-based agent tasked with interacting with social media companies, there was a gag order on discussion of Hunter Biden's laptop in a separate exchange. Chan is told, official response, no comment. In that chat, the FBI officials showed awareness of the laptop may have contained evidence of criminal activity. Asked Chan, actually, what kind of case is the laptop thing? Corruption, campaign financing? Another FBI employee responds, close hold, after which the response is redacted, to which Chan's responds, oh crap, appearing to underscore the serious nature of the probe, which included felony tax charges. Chan adds, okay, it ends here. In the same conversation, Chan is asked if anyone discussing the New York Post article on Biden's. Chan responds, yes, we are. Confirmed an active investigation, no further comment. CD is likely shorthanded for the FBI criminal division. It says, said another FBI employee whose name was redacted by the Bureau, please do not discuss Biden matter. So literally, this is what you call election interference. This is what, and those people out front of Tesla, they still believe all this stuff. They still believe that there was no corruption, that there was no business dealings with Biden. And you know what? Even if they knew it was true, they wouldn't care. They hate Donald Trump more than they'll ever like this country. They do not have love for this country. If they love this country, they would want to see Donald Trump succeed. You know, I wanted to see Joe Biden's policies that would make America better succeed. Unfortunately, he wasn't president. He was more of a puppet. But this is, I just found this really interesting. And the fact that Americans were lied to, the Biden administration, the Department of Justice, the Attorney General, all were in on this. And I think there's some serious things that need to come down. And I think that's why I think Trump will be working on it. Again, you have to have all the evidence. We'll see how that goes. There's actually an article we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on about something Elon Musk said that ABC News is covering. And I think you guys will like it. But listen to this. This is from Kate Sanchez of California. We told you last week that 2 bills would be coming through California that would protect women's sport, keep men out of women's sports. I want you to listen to the beautiful Kate Sanchez standing up for the women of California.
I am not here to make political statements. I am not here to play games. I am here because brave young women like Jaden and Sophia and so many others decided to step up and told us how much this issue impacts all of the young female athletes out there. And I will say a UCLA study published a few months ago actually found that there was 122,000 trans athletes in California. So I think the numbers we should talk about nationwide, but we should talk about these numbers, and I would love the opportunity to discuss that. To the young athletes in this room, you are courageous beyond words. Thank you for being here. You inspire me, and you remind us all of what true leadership looks like. To parents, grandparents, coaches, and supporters, thank you for standing up, and thank you for showing up. You are speaking truth to power. AB 89 is about protecting women, full stop, and that's it. It is about stepping off of the sideline and onto the court or onto the field for our daughters, our sisters, our granddaughters, and the future of women's sports. They're relying on us to make this change, and I hope you'll support this bill today to, at the very least, keep this conversation going. California has been a long leader in advancing women's rights, from workplace protections to public safety. So I ask you, why would we stop now? I respectfully ask for your aye vote on AB 89. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion? Yes. Moved by Vice Chair. Is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Gonzalez. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
AB 89, the action is due pass to the Committee on Education. Ward?
No.
Lackey?
Aye.
El Hawari? Gonzalez?
Aye.
McKinner?
No.
Ortega?
No.
Quirk Silva?
No.
Rivas?
No.
Zabur?
That bill fails on a 2-7 vote.
2 out of 7. Only 2 people want to protect women and women's sports in California. Now, we've talked about this. It's not such a bad thing. Keep doubling down on your woke policies. Keep wanting males to be in female locker rooms in junior high and high school. Keep wanting to put tampons in boys' bathroom, because that's the same stuff that we're going to talk about their approval rating. But Ashley Zavala was down there, and speaking of it, before we go into that, we've hit an all-time low, guys. All-time low for Democrats. Last week, we were at 29% approval rating for Democrats. Then it went to 27%. Where are we now? Where are we now?
One. Holy Toledo. Voters' views of the Democrats in Congress among all voters disapprove 68%. And look at the approved number, just 21%, even lower than the Democratic Party at large. This is the lowest on record for Democrats, according to Quinnipiac University polling. You think these numbers are bad? Let's go to this side of the screen. We'll look how Democratic voters feel. Get this. The plurality of Democratic voters disapprove of Democrats in Congress at 49%, and just 40% approve. Horrible, horrible, horrible.
Let's play that
Toledo.
again.
Voters' views of the Democrats in Congress among all voters disapprove 68%. And look at the approved number, just 21%.
21%. Now, those are your people at the Tesla dealerships. Those are the people that are believing the lies. As again, we've covered the Tesla dealerships. We might be doing something this weekend. I don't know. You know, I have 2 holiday weekends out of the year. One is Big Hat Days in Clovis. If you guys know about Clovis, Big Hat Days, I love it. Been going to it since I was knee high to a grasshopper, and Clovis Rodeo. Been going there all my life. That's at the end of April. I think the 23rd through the 27th. But there's some stuff going on in Fresno this week, and we'll have to show you later. 21% approval rating for Democrat members of Congress. Hey, keep doing what you're doing. This was Ashley Zavala was out there reporting at the California State Capitol. Take a look at the people that were there. Pretty full room. You can tell who was for and who was against by the masks. And if I didn't have that, might have went up here. We gotta hold the media accountable. Oh, look at that one. Hold on. I wonder what this one's going for. Look at that one right there. A face mask and a shield on, folks. Bring back, I'm telling you, make mental institutions great again, please. Please. California Assembly Speaker Robert Rivas refuses to answer questions from reporters after lawmakers reject that bill that would no longer allow trans athletes in girls' high school sports. Again, they are voting to lose funding, guys. Trump has already stated. And California Democrats want to play victim when we lose the funding. Guess what? That's because you wanted to put male and women's sports. Watch this video.
So you're not worried at all? What about the governor? I mean, Mr. Speaker, do you have any time just to talk about what that hearing just had? We have questions, Mr. Speaker. We haven't spoken to you since January 9th. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Arrogantly picks up the
Mr.
phone.
Speaker, are you worried at all
Doesn't care
about
about the little girls in high school.
From California?
Honey, hold on a second. Actually, I'm on the phone. Right.
Well, put the
Mr.
phone
Speaker,
down.
are you worried at all?
Dipshit.
Mr. Speaker, are you worried at all about California losing any money from the Trump administration?
I'll call you back in a couple minutes.
Mr. Speaker, are you worried at all about the Trump administration taking away funding from California over the result of this bill?
Every day.
I know you do.
All policies they pass, the impacts they have to.
Guys, the hallway's closed, Ashley.
So you're not worried at all?
Well, that's been a top concern for us.
What about the governor? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
what are your thoughts on the governor?
Excuse me.
What are your thoughts on the governor's remarks, though, Mr. Speaker?
Governor's comments. Mr. Speaker.
What an arrogant piece of trash. And I hope, as a California, I'm living right here. Do what you got to do, Trump. Help us in California get rid of this Marxism. It's ridiculous. I don't think I want to cover that one today. I'll cover that tomorrow. We're an hour and 24 minutes. Let's see what else we got. Speaking of California, we covered it numerous times. Our gas prices in California. And twice, I think the last time was about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, Gavin Newsom. Let me see if I can pull that up really quick. Let me show you something. And we answered the question for him.
Of state policies and lower production and not price gouging. Marshall Business School professor Michael Misch released a report.
vexing issue that impacts every single Californian, and that's the, and we're going to make progress to address a vexing issue that impacts every single Californian, and that's the abuse of the oil companies that tends to happen around this time every year as it relates to price spiking. You experienced it 2 years ago. I think it was October 4th, 2022. $2.61 more than the national average. We saw gas prices averaging in California $6.42. You saw it last year on September 30th, $2.25 above the national average. Today, it's roughly $1.43 above the national average. But we know this is the time of year that we have planned and unplanned refinery maintenance, which spikes the cost of gasoline and spikes.
Look at Attorney General Rob Bonta just nodding like a trained seal. It's just both those guys are scum. So he wanted to do a big investigation. He spent our tax dollars to find out why the price gouging was going on. Let me show you this, and I'll show you a couple. This is from Fox 5 San Diego. Policies, not price gouging, to blame for California's soaring gas prices, a study finds. So again, it was what we've been saying for a long time, the policies that are pushing out more and more. Chevron just left to Texas. Remember, we have a coast here in California. We could be a pretty big oil, a gas producer and everything else, but we have so many rules and regulations. We got a summer blend, a winter blend. Nothing's helped the environment that they say is for the reason of the environment. And you take a look at all these right here. This is just great. Let's turn this on.
Prices are the result of state policies and lower production, and not price gouging. Marshall Business School professor Michael Misch released a report this month detailing why Californians pay so much for gasoline. He identified 7 factors that have pushed prices higher for decades, most of which have to do with state taxes and environmental regulations.
State taxes and environmental regulations. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I told you so. We've been covering this for a long time. But we've had, when we travel and I'm paying $5.69, $5.99 a gallon here, and we go to another state and it's $2.99. Democrat policies. Bottom line is all they have to say is Democrat policies. This is what Democrats have done to the state of California. And guess who it hurts? It don't affect those mean, bad billionaires that create all those jobs. You know who this hurts the most? The lowest of the lowest income earners. The single mom with multiple children. Just like they failed on their $20 minimum wage fast food workers. Who did it affect? The mom that has 3 kids that she has to buy, a McDonald's Happy Meal for, and now that McDonald's Happy Meal is 23 cents more. She didn't make a $6 gain on her minimum wage or her wages. No. It only cost us 14,000 employees. These are Democrat policies, and this is the thing. You can talk till you're blue in the face. I don't think these people have the capabilities of understanding economics and understanding truth. It's just true. This was from KTLA 5. Policies, not greed, driving California's sky-high gas prices, a study finds. Imagine that. That's from California News. I wonder if Gavin, now that he's coming back to the moderate middle, hey, no, guys shouldn't be in women's sports. All of a sudden, because he's trying to get himself ready for that 2028 campaign. Just incredible. We told you, I wish I could go back and pull up that live stream. It's still up somewhere. And we're not going to cover this, but I'm going to look into it. We'll cover it tomorrow. But I thought this was interesting. It says Elon Musk appeared to boast of advanced knowledge of planned arrest related to Social Security fraud, frustrating law enforcement officials, sources tell ABC News. Now, when it's sources tell ABC News, it could just be made up. But it says tech billionaire and senior Trump advisor Elon Musk appeared to boast of an advanced knowledge of a planned arrest related to alleged Social Security fraud do an appearance on a live stream Monday night promoted by his more than 200 million social media followers. Yes, in fact, I believe someone is going to be arrested tomorrow, Musk said in a response to a question about whether U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi would prosecute fraud found within the Social Security system. Musk made the comments during a live stream tele-rally in support of conservative Wisconsin Supreme Court candidate Brad Schimmel, however you say it. Says, previewing an arrest before it takes place would conflict with the standard practice intended to protect potentially sensitive law enforcement. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. It doesn't mean he had, let's just say, I just think it's good news. I want to start seeing some arrests. That's what we all have been here for. Start arresting these people, start prosecuting, don't care if they're red, blue, don't care, independent. Let's start sending a message to folks that all this waste, fraud, and abuse, especially this fraud, is going to be punished, and it's going to be punished severely. But they're crying again. ABC News doesn't want to focus on the fact that there's people being fraudulent. No, Elon Musk. Let's see what else we had. I'm skipping some of this stuff because how long this has taken so far. Let's see. So I'll do these two right here. U.S. District Judge, another one, guys. Just put your shocked face on. Anthony Trenga just blocked the CIA and the Office of Director of National Intelligence from firing employees who worked on DEI initiatives. So Trump said, hey, we're going to cut the federal government. We're going to get rid of DEI. We're going to slash this. Now we have another federal judge doing that, controlling and taking up executive powers of these United States. We've seen this happen time and time again. These activist judges, they might not win at the end, but they certainly slow down progress. And I think what the goal is there is Democrats know what Trump is doing is going to work. So the longer they can slow it down, the closer they get to the midterms, right? If Trump gets all this enacted and in a year from now, before the midterms, everybody's hunky-dory and the economy's doing better, they're still getting their Social Security, they're still getting their Medicaid, and everything Democrats said was a lie, it's going to look really bad in election time. Because what are they going to bring up now? Just some more stories. Oh, Trump is Putin's puppet. Well, it's not going to work. It didn't work in the election last time. And so I've seen this, and we will spend more time on this. But I want you to listen to Ms. Hagman.
Requiring the party seeking not been requiring the party seeking the injunction to put up a bond, even though Rule 65 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure mandates that a party seeking a preliminary injunction or TRO must provide security, a bond to cover potential costs and damages to the party who is wrongfully restrained or enjoined. In fact, such a bond is a condition precedent for an injunction to be valid.
So the injunction is not valid, according to Harriet Hagman, Wyoming's congresswoman. She's saying that they did not put up a bond. So they did not secure anything that about a TRO or anything else. They have to put up a bond. Why? Because then when it's just when they're just going and fraudulently going after Trump, saying we're just going to slow him down, they have to come up with that money to cover the court costs for the administration. And listen to what she says at the end.
Is a condition precedent for an injunction to be valid.
It is a condition precedent for the injunction to be valid. We'll see how this plays out. Let's see, what else do we have? What else? You know, Allie Bradley posted this up. We have a lot of these videos. We have thousands of hours of border videos on our server. But she posted this today. It said this memory popped up today from April 1st, 2022. Migrants who had just crossed, I'll use the correct term, illegals who had just crossed the river in Eagle Pass tell me they like President Biden, but don't like President Trump. Hopefully these are the ones getting deported, right? Migrants I walked with in the caravan had the same sentiment because they said Biden was a good man and let them in, but they didn't think they had a chance under Trump. Imagine that. Listen.
¿Te gusta President Biden? Sí. Sí. ¿Te gusta President Trump?
Hold on. Good old. Refresh that so you can see, because you know in our border videos we ask the same thing. Oh yeah, we love Biden. We love
President
Biden.
Biden? Sí. ¿Te gusta President Trump? ¿Te gusta President Biden? Sí. ¿Te gusta President Trump? No.
I bet they're really saying no about that now. I just thought that was comical. You guys might like that. Check this out really quick, guys. 5G free. I want to talk about the things that people are afraid to say out loud. Who is in control of America's nukes? It's not Biden. Meanwhile, we have Russian ships off the coast of Florida and full-blown wars in Ukraine and Israel. The world is at its most unstable point since World War II, and with nuclear weapons, the stakes are 10 times higher. How do people like you and I stay safe? Every prepper needs to have RadioGuard Ace, the only FDA-approved drug to treat radioactive fallout. Only the feds had it until now. That's why Rumble partnered with 5G Free, the only company in the world that has a supply of RadioGuard Ace and the ability to prescribe it prophylactically. Get their radiation emergency kit with RadioGuard Ace, potassium iodine, Zofran, and Geiger counter. There's simply no other tool in your arsenal to protect against a radioactive threat. Go to 5gfree.com, code STUDIO to save 15% and get your radiation kit now. And you know what? I also have another question for you guys. Let me see if this is up here, if I can look at your comments. Who is... Trying to pull up my content so I can see your comments. Backed out. Who is currently a Rumble Premium subscriber? Please put 1 in the comments. Please put 1, and I'll explain why here in a minute. Sino's in the house. I thought Sino went to Mars ahead of the rest of us. How you doing, Sino? Long time no see. I seriously thought Sino got with Elon Musk and said, "I'll be your test pilot." Dave Unrest 1. So we have 1 Rumble Premium subscriber. Justin Goodearth. Let's see how many others. Texas RW. Come on, there's a lot of you in here. Hopefully there's more than that, because again, I wanted to let you guys know of something that we're going to be doing. And that is, let me pull this up. Jaylan Good. So I'll have a little bit of an audience, right? Old Uncle Bill is a subscriber. Okay, the reason why I'm saying that is we applied to be a Rumble creator. And part of that, let me see if I can find the email. Part of being in the creator program is you have to do about 6 hours of live streams a month, specifically for people that are subscribed to Rumble Premium. So in the next couple days, I'm going to be obviously putting that out as an advertisement, but hopefully you guys can join us. We will have some live streams that are only going to be available if you're a Rumble Premium subscriber. And it's how we stay in the program. We're going to try it out for 2 months. If it doesn't work out, if it doesn't help us out to travel financially, then again, we won't do it. We don't want to take away any of the viewership from you, but we're going to be doing that. And so I think it's 6 hours a month, which won't be hard to do. Maybe we'll do some interviews. When we do interviews, maybe those will be premium, because that's a premium to have on a guest, right? So just heads up, we're going to be advertising some of that stuff. And then when we go into premium, it'll give you an option when I decide to do this while you're watching the live stream to join Rumble Premium. If you do it at that time, it also helps us out on here. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. Let's see, what time is it? 4:38. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but again, we have literal Democrats screaming and complaining, wanting the MS-13 gang members and the TDA gang members, they want them back from El Salvador. They want them back in the United States.
Plane full of gangbangers. And I especially, while appealing whichever ones they want to appeal, and to demand the return of people unlawfully taken to El Salvador on that so-called plane full of gangbangers.
So Rep. Raskin wants that plane full of gangbangers back here in the United States. When I say that they continue to hit rock, like, what is rock bottom for a Democrat? I don't know. I have no damn clue, but it's just crazy. Let's see what Democrats want in here. I was listening to this live with my earbuds earlier. Listen to press secretary. And again, these people, all they're worried about is they're still on Signalgate, by the way, because we communicated, accidentally added a reporter and completed an absolutely flawless mission. We didn't kill 13 soldiers like Benghazi, and they're still talking about that, guys. They're going to try to drag that out too. That's okay. Let them talk about it.
In order to bolster their fraudulent lawsuits. These are
back in your country.
Let me tell you why we've made this commitment. MS-13, may I remind each and every one of you, is a brutal and vicious gang. They raped and strangled a 20-year-old autistic woman to death in Maryland. They hacked 4 people to death with machetes in a park on Long Island. They have kidnapped, sexually tortured, and shot a teenage girl in Texas after she insulted them, allegedly. A 17-year-old girl in Virginia, stabbing him 16 times and cutting off his hands. They beheaded and cut out the heart of a man in Washington, D.C. They raped and murdered a 13-year-old girl in California. They sex trafficked a slew of young girls, including one who was just 12 years old. Raped an 11-year-old girl in Brooklyn while her brother was in the room. Sex trafficked a 13-year-old in Maryland and Virginia, miles away from this White House, even beating her 26 times on her backside with a baseball bat. Pressured homeless New Yorkers to undergo unnecessary surgeries such as spinal fusion in order to bolster their fraudulent lawsuits. These are vicious criminals. This is a vicious gang. And I wish that the media would spend just a second of the same time you have spent trying to litigate each and every individual of this gang who has been deported from our country as the innocent Americans whose lives have been lost at the hands of these brutal criminals. We maintain our position.
Amen. Amen. That's who Democrats want back in here. So I'm going to do an experiment. If you get kicked off, it's because you're not a Rumble Premium member. I'm going to hit this button because we haven't done it before. I'm going to experiment and do the rest of the show with the Rumble Premium. So if you get kicked off, you can click that button, subscribe to Premium. If you don't want to, that's fine. We will see you on tomorrow's stream. We might be later tonight. Don't forget, we are viewer funded. Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App $ Oreo Army, and givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. And then we also have our Zelle link, and that is at our website, theoreoexpress.com. There's a donate now button. Let's try this out. See what happens when it